Hello, everybody. This is Bruce from Oregon, Bruce the Moose. Bruce on the loose in the tech van. Today we have a very special episode 0. It might be the first, it might be the last. This is the Management Best Practices series, and today I have an interview with one of my friends and colleagues, Shannon. Shannon is here. Give me your quick elevator pitch of who you are, what you're doing, and why you're here.
Bruce, when you said we were going to do the elevator pitch, I thought you were doing the elevator pitch.
Oh, I have to do an elevator pitch? I think my channel knows who I am.
Okay, fair. But okay, no worries. I can handle this elevator pitch. So I work in the tech industry, same company as Bruce. That's where we met well over 20 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
And remind me, I think I was a new employee and you were an intern. Is that right?
I think so. And we used to sit at the same lunch table.
Yeah.
And I remember, Bruce, you pointed something out because we were just having, I don't know, just regular. I think I brought my lunch from home. I don't know. Wow. I was kind of lame as an intern.
You had the Garfield lunchbox or the.
Yeah. Well, I always would have like a peanut butter sandwich, and you would watch and always be like, you eat your sandwich in a spiral shape. And I was like, I never noticed that, but I would like eat the crust first and then like go around. I don't know. And you were like,
goodness.
Did you know you eat your sandwiches in spiral shape? And I was like, I didn't know that. But I don't know. That memory just popped back in now that we're sitting across from each other.
That's amazing.
Virtually. Yeah. But anyway,
Power of observation.
Right?
Do you still eat your sandwiches that way?
I think I still do.
Amazing.
I wasn't doing it consciously. I think it just makes sense to me to go around the crust first. I'm not sure.
Of course. Like Uncrustables. Yeah,
like Uncrustables.
Get rid of the crust. Get it out of here.
First, I convert it to an Uncrustable and then work my way around.
Perfect.
So I work with the same tech company as Bruce, and I've been enjoying Bruce's management series. I just thought it would be fun to do like little collab here. I don't have a podcast, but I thought it would be fun to come on Bruce's. And so I've been in the industry, like 23 or so years.
Right on, a veteran. Very good. So you're working in tech. How did you first decide to get into tech work specifically? Was it just like, oh, this computer stuff sounds fun, or was there something else that got you into that?
Something similar to that, yes. Bruce, did you ever watch the show The Golden Girls?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
We're going to have a Golden Girls moment. You remember on Golden Girls, the oldest one, Sophia, like whenever she was going to tell a story, she'd be like, picture it, Sicily, 1924, right? Like she would like set the context. You remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to tell the story of how I got into tech.
Estelle Getty. Yeah.
Yeah. But it would always be like, picture it. So here's how I got into tech. Picture it. Okay.
Picture it.
It's 1993, Raleigh, North Carolina, suburban basement. It was like the summer before my junior year of high school. And I had a little like bubble form to select what electives I was going to take for my junior year of high school. And it was like home ec and wood shop and different things, art, music, different things like that. I read all the bubbles out to my dad, who was sitting there looking through his newspaper. And one of them was computer science. We didn't have a computer or anything, but my dad's just flipping and he goes, I think computers are going to be important. And then keeps reading. And I was like, that's good enough for me. I mean, that's what my dad said. Yeah. So I filled in that bubble. I ended up in computer science and
computers. Have you ever seen The Graduate?
Well, I think I have, but it's been a long time.
The guy gets out of college or gets out of high school or whatever it is, and he's at a party, and then one of his dad's friends comes up to him and he's like, get into plastics.
Plastics, yes, okay, like that. Yes.
Like, it was like computers are going to be important. There you go.
Except for my dad was uninterested after that point. He was just like, that's going to be important. I'm going to go back to reading the paper.
Amazing.
But yes. And I made friends, some of the funnest people were in that class. It was taught in Pascal.
Oh my
which
gosh.
I know. Even then, I think Pascal was pretty outdated, but
Yeah.
anyway, it was really fun, and everything just flowed from there. I really enjoyed it in high school, and I thought I'll major in it in college, and then majored in it in college, and then got a job in it, and it all just flows from there. Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. So you had a great high school experience that led you to college. Yeah.
True.
Very
Yep.
interesting.
Yep.
Right on. Right on. That's cool. All right. So you went to college. Where did you go to college? Did you say? Sorry. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah. I went
Was
to
that
North Carolina State.
NC State? Very good.
Yeah.
Okay. I love the the people graduating from NC State in engineering and computer science. They have nice resumes. Their resumes are really well formatted. I did a whole
Really?
I did
Is
a whole
that
video
something?
on resumes, and NC State always stuck out at me as having good resume templates.
It's a great school.
Yeah,
Engineering school is really great there, especially. Yeah.
for sure, for
Go
sure.
Wolfpack. Yeah.
Okay. And then you got into work as an intern and then an individual contributor. How long did you work as an individual contributor before you got into management type of a role?
Yeah. About 10 years. I had
Hmm.
3 different individual contributor jobs. They all had a common element to them. Like in terms of the domain they were in, but I did, yeah, 3 different jobs, and I did always kind of have an eye towards management just because I just like people. I'm just kind of like a people person, and so
Yeah,
I always did have my eye towards that, and, but I didn't want to I wasn't, like, aggressively pursuing it.
hmm,
I thought when the time is right, the opportunity will appear, and it took about 10 years for that opportunity to
yeah.
appear.
So you were open to it. Yeah.
I was open to it, yeah, and
Hmm.
I think I had maybe even taken, like, one of the management training courses that our company had, just
Oh, nice. Just to
yeah,
try it.
just to try it,
Hmm.
and I remember when there had been, like, times when I was on a team and some management position opened up, and for the most part, like, I didn't get considered for those. Like, I was on the younger side, and I didn't get considered for those, and then finally this one opened, and, just like before, I there was someone kind of in consideration for the role, and I remember I had a mentor at the time, her name was Elsie, and, I was kind of venting to Elsie like, "Oh, this would have been the best team for me to manage. They're, like, right in the domain of everything I know about,"
Yeah.
and she was like, "Well, did you tell them that you would wanna manage the team?" And I was like, "Well, no, they should just ask me." And she's like, "No, don't wait for them to ask you. You have to actually tell them. Like, if
Yeah.
you're not gonna, raise your hand, then,
Hmm.
um, no one's
Hmm.
gonna know." And, so, yeah, Elsie kinda pushed me towards it, and that's
Nice.
when it all worked out, so
Yeah. So that's like two things, right? It's good to have a mentor, number one,
yes, yes.
and it's good to do a little bit of personal marketing, which some people are
Venting
very good
venting
at
slash
doing.
personal marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So some
"Oh, you
people
mean the
do too
phrasing?"
much of it, but
Yes.
some people do more marketing than work. But anyway, but
Yeah,
you got to do
that
at
does
least a little
happen.
bit of marketing. Yeah.
Yes. You have to
Okay.
at least let people know that you want it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you have to tell. Yeah, you have to tell your manager and your management chain what your goals are, what your ambitions are, what you like, what you don't like, and then they
Yeah.
can help you find the opportunities. What
Yep.
was that? Was that transition? Because when I was an individual contributor, management was like this scary, like nobody want. It was sort of like this thing everybody was afraid of becoming a manager.
Mhm.
So for you, what was the transition from the technical work to the technical management really like? And was
Mhm.
it difficult? And if it was difficult, what could have made it easier? Were there
Yeah.
challenges there?
Yeah, I think, without going too in depth because I still work with a lot of the same people,
Oh yeah.
there were some, some tricks about the transition. And
Yeah.
I guess a few things like I guess the thing that surprised me the most, which now I'm like, why was that a surprise? But just you don't realize, I guess, that the people that you work with, even the people that seem amazing and really awesome and they're very personable and everything, they all might be venting to their manager about someone that they can't work with or someone that annoys them or but there's interpersonal conflicts and communication issues everywhere. Like
Everywhere.
you just
Yeah.
don't necessarily realize it when you're not the manager or the person that people are venting to, right?
Yeah.
Um, and not only so I was kind of surprised to learn that. I was like, wait a sec, you guys don't like each other? Like I didn't know that. I thought everybody was
Yeah.
happy here. And then I also was kind of surprised when people would have conflict with me. And I'm like, wait, I'm on your side, guys. And but there's little like there's everybody's
Mhm.
just a human, right? And
Yeah.
humans have emotions, like it's unavoidable. And so I remember when this was like my um start, I guess, or my what is it like dive into the pool. Um
Hmm.
the announcement that went out that so I kind of did a lateral move to a different team that I had worked with and became a
Yeah.
manager.
Oh, I
And
see. Hmm.
the announcement that went out that another person wrote that described it, he had me proofread it, and I was like, "Looks okay to me." Um, well, when he sent it out, a bunch of people that were on the team that I was taking over as a manager of, were very offended by a word choice in that announcement,
Oh
and
my.
I
Mm.
that was the first. I mean, now like it's totally fine, but it was
Yeah.
one of those things that I was like, oh, wow. Like, that's the
Hmm.
first thing, and now as a manager, like, there
Hmm.
are certain things that you have to be extra careful about, but I
And
was
this
like,
was
"Oh, how
this
could
was a
you?"
word you had proofread already, or
Yes, and
this
I
is
had
some
proofread it.
phrasing?
I had proofread it, yeah,
Yeah.
and I it looked okay to me, like, it did not stick out to me, but
Yeah.
to these people, it stuck out, right? And then I
They
was
had a
like, "Oh,
different interpretation, or their context was
yes."
different. Yeah.
Yes, they're like, "That's not what we do this thing," and
Yeah.
so then they were like, "Shannon, how could you have okayed that?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, wait, people are gonna be mad at me when I'm a manager? Like, I thought I'm,
Yeah.
like, saving the day here, and this one word, and now everybody's mad at me." So, it's all fine, and
Yeah. Yeah.
everybody got over it, but, like, that was the intro where I was like, "Oh, yeah, okay, actually,
Those are things you
even
have to
even
spend time on that you didn't think you'd have to spend
yeah,
time talking
even
about. Yeah.
grown-ups make a lot of money and are fabulous people. Um, they have emotions and you gotta
Yeah.
do a good job navigating that and
Yeah.
not, just kinda have a thick skin. Yeah.
I think the other thing is when people are managers or a senior level, like a higher grade level in a company or something, or an executive, the employees watch them much more carefully and sort of scrutinize everything they say and do to a greater level than they scrutinize the individual contributors or their peers in a team,
Yes.
because they're looking for cues from these leaders and these managers about what's happening. So
Mhm.
they import way more meaning in what a manager or a leader does. And a manager or
Yeah.
a leader needs to be conscious that that's happening, because
Mhm.
otherwise, I've seen even experienced managers sort of forget about this and don't
Yeah.
realize, like, oh, these 8 people just watched you in a meeting do some strange things or something like that, and
Totally,
and
yeah.
I'm looking at it through the manager lens, and I'm like, all these people are watching. They're waiting for cues about what's happening with the program or the project or the organization.
Mhm.
And when you first become a manager, you might not realize that. So that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it
yeah,
was it was a big introduction to it really quick.
yeah.
First official act.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah,
wild. Now, we worked at a pretty big company.
yeah.
Um, what do you think is a unique or a big challenge of being a manager in such a large organization or large company? Is there something unique about that, or?
That's a good question. I mean, I guess I would say our company. I mean, I've worked at one other tech company too, but this is probably true in a lot of tech companies. In
Mhm.
our company, something unique that I thought over time I've come to believe it is absolutely critical is just in order to make a good decision, you have to know more than one domain really well. Like you might think, oh, I know this one
Mhm.
domain extremely well, this one programming language or this one um, type
Mhm.
of job.
Yeah,
But
technology or
it,
product, or yeah.
yeah, it's technology or product. In our company, oftentimes you really had to know both hardware and software really
Mhm.
well. And sometimes a third domain as well, really well in order to make a good decision. And most people, as they're going to rise up through the ranks, they're kind of becoming more and more used to this one area that they're climbing, right? And so then you get
Specialized, yeah.
people, yeah, specialize, and it's just,
Depth of
it's like,
expertise, maybe.
yeah, depth of expertise. And as they get really far up, and it's like, oh, well, I've been working on software now for 15 years, and I know all the software people, and I know all the software stuff, and then you're in a position where you have to make some decision where you need to really understand the implications on the hardware of this software and
Mhm.
or the implications on the software of this hardware, and you just don't know enough, and that's how the bad decisions get made, right? So it's like I happen to work in this little area that's kind of cross disciplinary, and I'm happy for that because I do feel like at our company you can't make good decisions without that really cross disciplinary view.
Yeah. So it sounds like maybe one of the challenges is localized decisions, people making localized decisions that look good to them, but they're not
Yeah,
good at a global level for the
yeah,
company.
that's a good way to put it. Yeah, for sure.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of
Okay.
things that it's just like, and everything looks easy from the other side, right?
The sort of the grass is always greener on the other side. Like everybody
Yeah.
else's job is easy, my job is hard, right? That kind of idea.
Exactly.
Okay. I wanted to ask, what advice would you have for a new manager or someone who might want to become a manager soon?
Yeah. I mean, I do kind of always ask people who tell me that they want to be a manager. I always say, why do you want to be a manager? I'm sure this is not an exercise that is unfamiliar to you, Bruce. It's like, why do you want to become a manager? And if they say something like, well, actually, I'm not going to give examples of bad reasons. I'll just say that what I'm
Oh, there's
looking for in
bad
the
reasons.
answer is
Uh-huh.
what really makes me happy and fulfilled is when other people succeed, right? Not
Hmm.
myself, other people,
Yeah.
because otherwise it's going to be a rough job. You got to put a lot of effort into other people,
Hmm.
and that should be the reason that you want to do it. Otherwise, it just won't be a fulfilling job, right? I mean, I'm not making a value judgment on whether or not people, should be caring about. It's none of that. It's just like you won't like the job if that's not fun for you. If it's not fun for you
Hmm.
to go and, you know, have the same conversation with someone 25 times until it clicks and then they get to the
Yeah.
next place, or it's not fun for you to see someone climb the career ladder that you invest a lot in or whatever, then that's not the job for you. So, yeah.
That's a good point. I realized even though I
You're
managed
pleasing.
kind of, yeah, I
Yeah.
managed a kind of a small team, and I
Yeah.
realized I still have to sort of explain a lot of things multiple times to multiple people, or I have
Yeah.
to talk to one person, talk to a second person, then go back to the first person and
Right?
and get everybody on the same page. Um,
Absolutely.
but I think
Absolutely.
the way I looked at it was if I had a team of 5 people or 6 people or 8 people or whatever it was, and I could make those 8 people more efficient,
Mhm.
that's 8 times better than just making myself more efficient. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's like a
Totally.
multiplicative improvement in what you can
Yes.
accomplish.
Yep.
And so I think if you look at it from the perspective of, making other people more successful versus themselves versus you versus whoever,
Yeah.
as opposed to like, well, what's my way of advancing my own career? If you're
Yeah.
just doing it because you think you're going to get a raise or something, it's probably a bad idea, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And the multiplier thing is so true, right? It's also true for a bad manager, right? A bad manager is also a multiplier, and it may
Oh
be like a
gosh.
0.7 or a 0.8 on the whole team, right?
Oh yeah, because they'll
And
impede the velocity of the team. Yeah. Okay, so we talked about being a new manager, making sure
Mm,
your goals, you understand your goals and why you want to be a manager. What
yeah.
advice would you have for more experienced managers that you'd like to see?
I mean, I could probably talk about all these topics for a really long time. So could you probably, right?
Sure.
So you kind of actually pulled it out of a previous thing that I said. I was going to say, have a mentor.
Hmm.
I have a mentor today. Shout
Hmm.
out to Lars. Um, and it's like mentor slash therapist sometimes, right? Because you need to
Yeah.
be able to vent because you can't really vent downwards, right?
Hmm.
And sometimes you can't even vent upwards. So
Hmm.
you need the mentor for that, and you need someone who's kind of ideally achieved a pretty high level of management so that they can walk you through, career stuff. I end up probably talking with my mentor. We usually talk for like 2-hour chunks.
Oh wow,
It's
that's a
kind of
long
weird.
time.
Yeah, but that's just what's evolved. But we usually do that maybe like every 6 weeks.
Oh
And
okay.
it is very easy for me. I love my team. I love the people. I love the work, right? And it is easy for me to just get, I'm not going to say complacent, but just like sort of really caught up in just the day to day and the um this person, like, here's my goals for all of these people, and he'll be the one that challenges me, like, oh well, what is your goal for yourself in 6 months? And I'm like, I don't have one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think a mentor is good for kind of helping you to just sort out all those things, make sure that there are times, Bruce, right, when you also really need like a pep talk, right? Like
Hmm. Hmm.
I can text my mentor and say, in our next session, I'm going to need a pep talk, or like,
Yeah.
you're going to have to convince me to, like that I got to deal with this situation because I'm avoiding this or whatever. So that's been very, very helpful to me.
Yeah.
I would definitely give that piece of advice. And yeah, just if you like I say, if you're
Hmm.
if this is for you, then you know, keep investing in your people. Um, and even though we talked right in the beginning about like people are watching you and you have to be more careful about things, like I still will get tripped up on that in times when I myself am really stressed, right? And so
Yeah.
just helping to keep yourself in the right headspace. A mentor is good for
Okay.
that, and
Having a mentor is good for that. Yeah.
yeah,
And also,
yeah,
so be a mentor and have a mentor. Both.
yes,
Yeah.
both. You're right. Yep, I
Hmm.
I also do mentor people. Yeah, yeah. Do you have a mentor, Bruce?
Right now, I mean, right now I'm in a van, so I don't know. Uh, but
Well,
I've
when
definitely,
you were actively working.
uh, over time, at certain times, I felt like I did. One thing, it can be tough to find a good mentor sometimes.
It can. Yeah.
And one thing I think is interesting is mentoring, not just mentoring, but coaching can help too.
Yeah.
Um, because a coach doesn't need, like a mentor, you're kind of saying, okay, here's somebody who's been there, done that. They can give me advice. They can challenge me. They understand what the work I'm doing. Whereas a coach might look at your problem or the thing you're trying to do from a completely different perspective. Like I had a coaching session with someone in a completely different line of work, effectively.
Oh.
But because you can bring a different perspective and sort of talk people through things. And I think whether it's mentoring or coaching, the thing you brought up, which is you're talking through the thing. Yeah. One thing I found when, especially working from home with like the quarantine situations, I would get in my head a lot about a lot of things. But if once they, you know, opened a building up or something, or we went to happy hour, or I got to talk to people at a site. Yeah. Just talking to somebody at a site for 30 minutes or 2 hours, like you're talking about, what made a huge difference to get me out of my head space as a manager and stop overthinking things. And so I think that mentoring exercise you're talking about is just a formalized way of being able to talk to someone as opposed to just being in your head.
Yeah, you're right. And stewing on things and ruminating. Yeah, you're right.
I think
better to get it out there.
The other thing I'm picking up was really your mentor was challenging you to think about what your objectives were or your goals or your projects as a person, an employee, because I think a lot of times managers are just so focused on the project or the team members or the sub teams or whatever. They never realize that they themselves are an agent that needs to have their own set of measurable objectives, to-do lists, goals, career development ideas, and that sort of thing. So that's something that experienced managers need to think about as well. So that's good.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Agree.
Very cool. Now, you know, being in our company, it's sort of a male-dominated industry. Were there challenges in being a woman, either as a tech employee, individual contributor, or a manager, or both?
I mean, I think there were. When I first started, so I was an intern, and then I came back like a year later and joined full-time. And I was on a team. It was 12 men, I think, and a male manager and me. And it was fine though. I was a novelty. It was okay. But it was super male dominated around then. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was like 2001, 2002. I think it's changed a lot now. Definitely then it was. But what's really funny is I met all the women there on the floor in the bathroom. So like we would call ourselves the bathroom buddies because that was the only way that we interacted with each other. We weren't like coming across each other like at work. So we would, you know, I still remember like the 4 or 5 women that worked on the same floor that we all met in the bathroom, you know, like we'd be looking in the mirror or whatever. Yeah. And that's how we met each other. But I never really, I had already gone to a male, you know, gotten a degree that was also like almost like mostly men. I think at the time it was like 75% or something. So I never really chafed under it. I think things are also improving, but I guess the one thing, I mean, there have been some challenges. I love now that we have bonding leave and parental leave at our company. I mean, my first kid and my second really, like, you know, really didn't get that. So that's great. But I mean, I guess the one thing I've noticed is, and I especially used to notice it when I was younger, it took me maybe 5 or 6 years to really put my finger on it, was just how it seemed to me. I don't want to be canceled or anything, Bruce. Okay. Sure. I don't want to cause a backlash, but how it seemed to me, a man talking to a man, they would automatically assume that each other was smart, right? You said something. I hadn't heard it before, but you must be smart, so this is a legitimate thing, right?
Mm,
Whereas I felt like for me, I did not get that same assumption of she's smart like I am. It was like
mhm.
I had to prove that
You
I
had to
was smart.
constantly
Yes.
prove your
I'm
point.
like, yeah, but
People didn't make the assumption. Yeah.
while to put my finger on that because little things like that would happen, would come up in meetings, would whatever, and I would just feel sometimes like that's weird that I feel like what I said was really solid, but I wasn't getting anywhere with the point. Like, and after a while, I was kind of like, oh, I think that's what it is. I think this is the pattern. Is like I have to really show people that I'm smart
Hmm.
before they will like take me seriously. But
Hmm.
I think that's improving over time too. So
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds kind of like, people have these, whether they're conscious or unconscious, they have these
yeah,
biases, right?
yes,
And I think the good thing is by learning about the biases or observing them or thinking about them unconsciously, you can recognize them when they start to happen and you can maybe
yeah,
avoid doing them yourself or something like that. It doesn't have to be a
totally.
big deal. It just has to be sort of like, oh, I see it. And now I understand that this can happen. And once you do
Yes,
that, things can improve. So that's really
yes,
interesting. That's some good
yeah. Had
observations
you?
and
Has
advice.
anybody told you that before? Any gals you worked with?
Um, oh my gosh, that's a great question. I think I've actually had I've been fortunate. I don't know whether it's through sort of trying to do good recruiting or something else, but I've actually managed a lot of technical females in engineering over the
Mm.
years. I remember one year when, because they'll look at like the ratio, the fractions, right,
Yes.
of
Mhm.
like of different demographics, and my manager was like, "Well, you have the highest fraction of technical females of these higher grade levels," or something like that, and I was like, "Well." I mean, I wasn't trying to do that, but
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I was certainly happy to have that statistic or something. But
Yeah.
and I think I learned a lot. And it can be even these small things, like when you have a conversation with someone. I learned, like, does this person want me to help them solve a problem, or do they just want to tell me something and have me listen? Like, and then how
Yes.
do I figure that out? And then once I know which one I'm supposed to do, can I do that instead of the other way around?
Yeah. That's a
Um,
good one. Yeah.
so that's something. And even for little things, which I don't know if they're gender related or cultural related, but like if somebody wants to debate something or work something out, sitting across from them at the table is kind of good. But if somebody just wants
Yeah.
to talk to you and have you listen to them, sitting 90 degrees is better. And I'm like, what is this? Is this a real thing?
Oh,
But there's like some
I've
science
heard
behind
that.
it. Yeah,
Mm.
there's some science behind it in terms of like where you sit and all this stuff, and because it's all about body language, right? Like if you're active listening and these kind of things. Yeah.
I
Okay.
wonder when you made your famous peanut butter sandwich observation, were you sitting 90 degrees or right across from me? I can't recall.
Probably right across, I
I
would
think
think.
so. I think it was
Yeah,
right across.
we
Yeah.
probably had those long tables, right?
Yes. Actually, yes, it was. It was those.
Yeah. I kind of when they replaced the long tables with the tiny tables, I kind of missed the long tables because you would sometimes sit near people you didn't know, and you could strike up new conversations. I think I just had one more question, which is, if you had superpowers and you could just mandate that the managers of the
Ah.
world, whether in tech or outside tech, could just do one thing a little differently or start doing something or stop doing something, and you could mandate it, what would that be?
Okay. Well, I thought about this, and this is
Hmm.
going to sound kind of like woo woo. Uh,
Oh boy,
but I
blame
I mean,
Saturn.
right,
I don't know.
Mercury's in
Mercury.
retrograde right now,
Yeah,
I think it actually is in retrograde right now.
it's trouble. It's
Okay,
trouble.
that's right.
Hmm.
But I think I would just encourage people, this has been very helpful to me, to self-reflect. And I do this, I really like make this a thing. Also, my manager encouraged me to do this, but whenever I find myself like extremely worked up, um, I don't do it then. I wait a little bit longer, maybe like another day. Or when I start feeling overwhelmed, or when I have a big decision to make, I just find it very helpful to zoom out. And sometimes I think we tend to think we're not working if
Hmm.
we're sitting there just thinking for a couple hours, right? Like, so sometimes I really will do that. I'm just gonna, I'll go to a coffee shop sometimes or like have a
Hmm.
little notebook that I'm writing things in, but just for a couple of hours, zoom out and reflect on how did I get to this place? Like the place meaning the problem I'm in, right?
Yeah.
Um, what do I think are the right choices? A lot of times it's going to be something people related, like, well, what if I try to think like this person? What if I try to think like that person?
Hmm.
But really just taking some actual time where you're not doing another thing, where you're not
Hmm.
checking your emails, you're not getting through your millions of meetings
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
whatever. You're literally thinking,
Yeah.
thinking about how you should respond to things or you're analyzing a situation. I
Hmm.
guess that would be the advice that I would give. I found that
Yeah.
to be very helpful because it's really easy to just go along making a whole big stream of decisions and actions without having really thought it through, and you
Yeah.
start this like butterfly effect. And then you get down to the
Reflect.
very end of it and you're like,
Yeah.
why was I so gung ho about that or whatever? So,
It's kind of like if you have an email you're not sure of, like, wait 24 hours before you hit the send button.
yeah,
Or
exactly.
I heard some good advice once. I think it was from, uh, you know, tech luminary Glenn Hinton. He said, if you're trying to solve a problem, sometimes you just got to go like mow the lawn. And
Yeah,
while you're
yeah.
mowing the lawn, your brain, your conscious and subconscious will be working on these problems or working on the decision that you're trying to make. And
Yes.
and it forces you to just do that one thing, right? Which is either like physically you're mowing the lawn, but like mentally you're just working on your one problem. And
Yep,
you're not trying to multitask or you're not trying to go at breakneck speed, and you
that's
can just
right.
pause and take a breath and that kind of thing. That's great.
Yep,
All right, very
that'd
good.
be my
All right,
advice.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Well, this has been a great interview. Do you have
it
anything you want to
has.
plug, or do you have any parting words or thoughts or questions or
Oh no, I didn't plan ahead to plug anything.
your
No, in
LinkedIn
case people
page or
on my
anything?
team watch this, you guys are the best.
There you go.
Um, sorry that I outed that occasionally people have conflicts. It's all
Oh my
right.
gosh,
Everybody
I'm
does.
shocked. Shocked. Yeah.
Um, yeah, sorry. I got a podcast to plug or a YouTube channel at least. Not
Oh, no
yet. So
worries.
yeah. But
Very
thank you,
good.
Bruce.
Or
Yeah, it's been
conference
really
or something
fun.
like that. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, it's been great having you on. I will, we'll wrap it up here. And it's been a great interview. If you have thoughts or questions or things you want me to follow up on, put them in the comments section. And if you've stuck around this long, thanks for your time. All right.
Bye bye. Thanks.